Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Guy Quintero, and I am the author of the Unholy Slaying Agency. I'm going to be reading my favorite chapter from the Cannibal Peaks, Book 2 of my series, and that chapter is Eat. Enjoy.
Are they still behind me? I think I lost them.
Rapid breaths pumped through his lungs, becoming clouds of white contrasting with the freezing air around him. Sweat on his body crystallized into ice. Chilled tingles passed through the clothes, sticking along his back. Bright snow remained as far as the eye could see, blinding with whiteness save for the gray rocks that jutted from the mountainside. Howling wind brushed against the hood of his thermal winter coat. His heart pounded, as if trying to leap from his chest. Clenching tight to a hatchet, he spun around, with it raised and ready. Teeth bared. His trembling face grimaced, heavy with the wrinkles of apprehension. There was only the descent of snow, leading beyond the clouds that now drifted below his position. Just a win again. How many days now? This coat, it's not doing anything anymore. I have no idea where I am. Get a hold of yourself, Robbie.
I can't. Frankie, he was the navigator. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Pain erupted in his rumbling stomach, squeezing his body with torment that shot through his weakening core. My wife's warm apple pie, the delicious, sweet chunks of fresh fruit that went between your teeth with each bite. I wish it should have been you, baby.
I chose them instead to prove my manhood on this godforsaken trip. How many days now? What did I do to get here?
Weakness took Robbie's steps, his shuddering body falling over. The whimpering man's vision plummeted into a face full of snow. He pushed up, brushing away the clinging flakes of cold. As the gloved hands cleared from his eyes, blowing strands of long raven hair came into view. She turned, her luscious pink lips pressing together in a smile. Robbie's blue frostbitten nose managed to inhale her lavender scent. She sashayed closer, her wide hips shifting in the pinstripe pantsuit. Robbie Mills, his wife called out with her sultry southern rhythm. Hurry up. You're going to be missing out. I made an extra pie just for the two of us. The kids are asleep. They won't be a bother.
Maggie, I should have never gone on a trip. I should have stayed home with you.
It's fun. I'm here now. That's all that matters, right? You sound delirious, hon.
Maggie, aren't you allergic to lavender?
That's vanilla, silly. As I said, delirious. You're not all there in the head right now, mister. Now, are you going to keep me waiting? I know you're hungry. It's been what, 23 days now? 3 weeks or so with just roots, berries, and your fingernails to munch on?
I don't know anymore.
Well, if you keep dragging your feet, there's just going to be more pie for me.
Maggie giggled, sauntering through the snow. The woman walked up the path, moving through the thick layers with ease. Robbie trudged on, head lowered, shoulders drooped, breathing heavy to summon the last of his strength to make it up the steepening climb. Each step forced a whimper from Robbie as the shock from his blaring blisters grew from rubbing on his crusted socks.
I'm remembering now.
Screaming rang in his psyche with the familiar voice of his brother and friends. Goosebumps rose on his chapped skin, prickling at his body the louder the memories grew. Tearing nylon resonated in his thoughts, their tents peeled away with ease to the razor-like claws during their camp's invasion. Hungry bites, hoarse with desperation, devoured those he knew with greedy abandon.
Couldn't see them. They were so fast. The rifles did nothing. They were so fast. The bullets did nothing. Even when we did hit them, nothing. Maggie, he sobbed. Wait, you don't understand. There's things. They killed Petey and Frankie, and they killed everyone and ate them. I've been stuck. Every time I try to leave, I can't explain it. They're corralling me.
Shh. It'll be okay. It's all over now. I promise. Save your strength. Don't go getting yourself all worked up.
No, they're still here. I can feel it. Evil. The presence of real evil. Okay? Not that stuff we imagined as kids playing video games. Maggie.
Easy, Robbie. You're still delirious. Just hungry and tired, my love. It'll be okay. You're home now. We're almost there. I rescued you, remember?
The things.
The doctor said that you'd be suffering from a little mania until you've completed recovery. I didn't realize to what extent.
Maggie! You're doing it again. Stop lawyering. Be my wife. Just be that and listen.
Okay, we did speak with the counselor about my over-assertiveness in communicating, as he put it. But try calming yourself first. You're scaring me. I think the pie is almost done cooking. We'll get you a few slices ASAP. Doc said it'd be good for you to do familiar stuff and get some food in your tummy.
The things, Maggie, they're still out there. I thought they were bears, but they're too smart. In the glimpses, they look like men, skinny men. We have to tell someone, Maggie. Are you listening to me? Stop laughing!
Oh my, just calm yourself, hon. We're almost there.
Maggie, please, the things.
I told you already, hon. The kids won't be a bother.
They arrived to an area leveling off from the rest of the climb, surrounded by an array of graying boulders. Soft stones underfoot made their steps uneven. Underneath the soles of his boots, Robbie felt them being driven into the snow. Maggie spun around with her tender smile, hoping to connect with her husband's maniacal gaze. But Robbie had stopped, picking a stone from his footprint. What he held possessed a long shape, although natural, had been created with purpose long expired. He turned it, examining its faint yellowish shade, with stains of pink and red embedded down its center and corners.
This is not a rock. What is this?
Shadows moved within his peripheral vision. The stone fell from Robbie's hand as he raised his hatchet, staring over to the boulders. Snowflakes entered a gentle cascade in his view. Maggie raised her hands and backed away.
They're here!
Easy, Robbie. You're still back there, aren't you? I'm never gonna get my husband back.
The hatchet lowered. His shoulders deflated with jerking sobs. Aching continued from his frostbitten toenails into his swollen feet, up his throbbing knees and convulsing stomach that churned with a growing torment. Hunger climbed throughout his body, gripping his mind with the fog of desperation.
A beer, a steak, chicken fingers, tacos, French fries, a burger, my Maggie's warm apple pie. Maggie, he sobbed,
shaking his head. A cloud of wind shut his eyes. The hatchet fell from his grip during an attempt to rub the freezing tears away.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening. So tired. So hungry.
I know. That's why I brought you some pie, silly. Maggie smiled. Your favorite. The doctor said you needed to eat more. I don't approve of all this deliciousness in one sitting. Better not brag to the kids later when you come to. I already told them they couldn't have it.
What? Why does she keep saying that? Maggie, what are you talking about? We don't have any children.
Burning from the wind's embrace, clamped his eyelids together. A chilling bite forced groans from Robbie. Darkness and blurred images took their turn in his view. When vision returned, his beloved wife stood holding a bundle of cloth blankets, swaying with gentle care for its contents. Her full cherry lips and thin alabaster face went into a loving smile. She weighed Robbie closer with excitement. He staggered over, dizziness beginning to usurp all clarity, rendering the surroundings of his immediate focus into mottled images.
Can't keep going any longer. I don't know how I managed this far.
They stood rubbing shoulders, holding the bundle together. Maggie leaned in, removing layers of the blanket until a soft, small, round infantile face appeared. Robbie stared, unable to see anything beyond its withered newborn eyes, scrunched together, refusing to open. Its fatty little arms slipped out, pawing with open palms at their hands.
I don't understand.
You're just confused. You haven't eaten anything, hon. You gotta eat.
What? What are you trying to say? I can't. I can't.
Can't eat an apple pie?
Warmth radiated from the blanket and the dish sitting in his palms. Maggie slipped away, returning from behind, patting her husband's shoulders. In his hands was the apple pie, heat channeling into his palms from the center of its body. Sweetness carried into his nostrils, driving his stomach into an excruciating shudder. Coursing through every inch of him, a milky odor battled for his senses, driving away the smell of apples and cinnamon. Fingers dug into the fattiness of the plate's underside. The pie shook in his grasp as it moved, its little hand touching his index finger.
So hungry.
I know, hon. It's been a long time. The pain isn't gonna go away until you get something in your system. You have to eat.
I can't.
I saw this on the Life Channel. This girl had anorexia. She just couldn't get over the mental blocks. Poor thing. Robbie, look at me.
He met her loving smile and big eyes. Maggie's gentle hand slipped into his hoodie, caressing the back of his neck until her touch disappeared when she traced over the deadened skin of his frostbitten ear.
Maggie.
Eat for me. No. Eat for us. Blurs moved in his peripheral, but he only saw the boulders again. Trembles continued into his shaking hands. Cinnamon and apples flooded his senses, carried by the fog of desperation, bringing thoughts into chains of incoherent words. Eat for us. Whispers slipped into his thoughts, neither Maggie's voice nor his own.
So hungry.
Sharp pain jutted through Robbie's face when his frozen lips peeled back. Teeth sank into the pie, its soft flesh rolling over his tongue with the hot taste of salt and iron. Meat filled his mouth. Shrill screams rang into his ears with a harsh and unceasing plea for mercy. Robbie bit down harder, soaking his mouth and chin in the sticky juices of the pie. Another bite and his tongue brought small bones to crunch underneath his molars. Down his arms flowed trails of red. The screams stopped. Strings of blood and saliva dangled from the roof of his mouth, with each desperate bite growing more powerful and aggressive. Gnawed tufts of flesh slipped between his fingers as they bore into the pie. A growl rose from the depths of his stomach. He hunched over his meal, coiling with predatory vigor. Robbie howled into the wind, biting down again. The fog grew heavier in his mind, possessing his vision. He wandered, staring away into the grayness that surrounded him, waiting with his arms only finding vast emptiness. His body was still animated, but without his consent. Strength returned, flooding through his thinning frame with an aura of writhing shadow. The remains of the mangled pie fell, staining the snow with a gushing slap of blood. fingers grew long, his blackened nails pushing outward, curving, withering away any softness of humanity. The daylights of his eyes faded, replaced with desolation, signaling the lack of cognition. He ripped at his clothes, claws streaking away until burying his emaciated body, leaving gashes of dripping crimson across his thin frame. Robbie fell to his knees, devouring the morsels of the pie that remained until only the small bones escaped into the snow. His eyes became as amber, shimmering like a nocturnal predator, looking for Maggie. She remained at his side, smiling with approval.
Still hungry. Robbie's voice resonated with eldritch fury. Must eat.